Good evening. Good evening. So we are continuing Ramayana. If you're here for the first time, welcome. And you could watch this entire Ramayana as in the playlist called Ramayana. Just 1 second. So it's easy to go to one place and start from the beginning, from introduction. Now we are in part 2. We are reading chapter 21 today. So let's get started. Before we start, we always start with an opening prayer. So close your eyes, drop your shoulders, open your chest, take a deep breath in. Let's chant Om 3 times. Om. 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om. Okay, so let's get started now with chapter 21 called Guha, a chieftain of hunters. So Rama and Lakshmana and Sita have been resting in this place called Shringi on the banks of a river, which was by the city by name Shringi Berapura. So they had slept one night there, they spent the night there, and we're going to see who is in Shringi Berapura. So Shringi Berapura was a place which was ruled by Guha, a chieftain of hunters. It was well known that he was a friend of Rama. He was a powerful king in his own way with a large army at his command. He heard that Rama had arrived in the neighborhood and hastened towards the spot where Rama was, with his ministers and other attendants. Rama saw him approaching and went towards him to embrace him. They were good friends, and a meeting between them was tender. After a while, Guha spoke to Rama and said, Rama, my friend, tell me what I should do to please you. This place is as much yours as Ayodhya. It is not often that one is fortunate enough to entertain a glorious guest like you. Guha had brought with him food, and he spread what was a feast in front of Rama and said, Well, welcome to you, great one. Please accept my hospitality. This kingdom is yours. Please stay with me and rule this kingdom. At the moment, refresh yourself with different kinds of food I have brought for you. There is rice, milk, curds, honey, food, and sweet dishes cooked in diverse ways. I have brought also a mattress for all of you. Please honor me by using them. Rama smiled at Guha and said, You have come all the way walking to welcome me, and you have so much affection for me that I'm touched by your gesture. Embracing Guha again and again, Rama said, I'm pleased to see you well and happy. I hope your kingdom is thriving and that your subjects are happy. As for this feast which you have spread out before me, I'm afraid, Guha, I'm not in a position to accept it. I have to refuse to partake it. I have taken upon myself an oath to live the life of a tapasvin. I must wear tree bark and deer skin, and my food will be fruits and roots gathered by hand. You ask me how best you can please me. I will be immensely grateful to you if you will see to the feeding of these noble horses. They are very dear to my father, and I should take good care of them till I need them no more. They should be returned safe. Rama, with his upper cloth tied around his waist, entered the waters and offered the evening worship to the sun who was setting. He then drank water which had been brought to him by Lakshmana. Rama sat on the bed of dried leaves which had been prepared by Lakshmana, and he smiled with affection when Lakshmana washed his feet, wiped them with a cloth, and massaged them. Rama lay down with Sita, and soon he was asleep. Sumantra and Lakshmana sat around watching them. Guha had his bow and arrow in his hand, and he thought that he should guard Rama. None of the three slept that night. The very night seemed to keep jealous watch over I think it should be zealous, watch over this noble prince who till then had never known what discomfort was, who was the son of a king and who now slept on a bed of dried leaves because of the vagaries of fate. Guha was sorry for Lakshmana, who was keeping awake and standing guard over Rama. He said, Child Lakshmana, here is a bed which I have made for you. Why should you not relax your limbs and rest for a while? You are accustomed to comfort, and we will guard Rama tonight and all through the night. You need have no worry. Forget your cares for a while and sleep. My son, in this world there is no one dearer to me than Rama, and I swear that in the name of truth itself. Because of him, I've learned the lesson that in this world the accumulation of dharma is the only wealth worth earning and not the riches of the earth. With my many followers, I will guard my dear friend. Nothing can happen in this place without my knowing about it. I have at my command a large army. Lakshmana said, Guha, my friend, you're indeed very noble and full of affection for us. I do not have the least worry about the safety of Rama when you're here. You who seem to me to be the very image of Dharma, tell me, how can I sleep or rest after seeing my beloved brother sleeping on the ground with his wife Sita? How can I think of hunger or thirst or sleep when my heart is ready to break at the sight of this noblest among men lying like a mendicant on the ground? This warrior who can vanquish Indra himself in war is now sleeping on a bed of leaves. Rama has no equal either in the noble qualities which abound in him or in the wealth of learning or in the knowledge of the codes of Dharma. My father, the king, will not live very long after his son's departure to the forest. The world will soon lose a lord. That beautiful city, Ayodhya, will soon look desolate, having lost her lord. I'm sure of it. The palace will be without any noise since the women would have collapsed in sheer exhaustion after they have cried their eyes out. I doubt very much if the king and our mothers, Kaushalya and Sumitra, will survive this night. My mother at least may perhaps live to see Shatrugna, her other son, but Kaushalya, separated from her only son, will die of grief. My poor father, the king, has lost sight of his beloved son, who is divine being who is a divine being so pure and sinless is he? How can life remain in my father's body after all this? Once the king is gone, Kaushalya Devi will also die, and my mother is also sure to follow them. My father could not realize his desire to crown Rama as Yuvaraja. What has happened has happened. Nothing can change the course of events, and the king will certainly die. Fortunate will be the son who will be able to perform the funeral rites to his father. Do you think the king will survive this calamity? Do you think we'll be able to see him after we return from the Dandaka? Will the day ever come when we enter the city of Ayodhya having completed our exile? Lakshmana was beside himself with grief. Guha shed tears of sympathy and he could not speak a word. He was overcome with sadness and compassion for the young prince who was so devoted to his brother, and the night passed slowly. The song of the birds woke up Rama, and soon they were standing on the banks of the Ganga. Rama said, Lakshmana, the sun is about to rise. The birds are making such sweet music. The heart feels uplifted with joy. I can hear from a distance the raucous sound made by the peacocks. Let us perform the worship of the sun and then cross the sacred river who is rushing towards our Lord, the sea. Lakshmana conveyed the wishes of Rama to Guha and Sumantra and came back to Rama. Guha summoned his attendants and said, Get a boat ready. Take good care that she is strong and well built. She should be able to cross this turbulent Ganga without any effort. Rama and the other two must have a comfortable crossing. The boat was soon brought to the edge of the river. Guha went to Rama and said, Rama, my friend, I've got a boat ready for your crossing. Is there anything else I can do for you before you leave? Guha, you have given me all that I asked for, said Rama. Help Lakshmana load the boat with the weapons. The brothers, accompanied by Sita, took up their bows and arrows, and their swords were strapped to their waist, and they walked towards the river bank where the boat was waiting to take them across. Sumantra went to the presence of Rama and stood before him. Rama touched him with his right hand and said, Sumantra, go back to the presence of the king. Sumantra was weeping, and Rama said, do not grieve, Sumantra. The king needs you, and you must stay by his side. I have no need of a chariot anymore. From here onwards, I must walk into the forest. You should go back to Ayodhya. Sumantra spoke with pain in his heart. He said, Rama, it has never happened before in the line of Ikshwakus. A prince with his wife and brother is planning to live in the forest for the duration of 14 years. I see now that proficiency in the study of Vedas, performance of all religious rites which are meant to please the Devas, are all futile when one like you has been made to suffer thus. Fortunate indeed will be the dwellers in the forest who will see the three of you. You will seem to them to be Narayana himself who has deigned to descend the earth to grace her. As for us, we are the most unfortunate of all human beings. We have sinned in our previous births and we are suffering for it. He stopped for a moment and continued. Because of Kaikeyi, we are doomed to suffer eternal sorrow. Contemplating on the separation from Rama, Sumantra could not contain himself and he could not control either his grief or his tears. He washed his eyes with water and still his tears were flowing. Rama spoke to him in a soft, gentle voice. Sumantra, I'm yet to see one who is as devoted to the family as you are. It is up to you to take care of my father and help him to bear the pain at parting from me. My old father could not achieve the desire in his heart and he is sorely distressed by it. You know how firm I am in following the dictates of Dharma because of the compulsion to please, Kaikeyi, my father, the king, had to take recourse to this step, and I have to do as I am bid. He will be very unhappy, and you should not abandon him at this stage. My father has never suffered like this before. He is aged, and he deserves to be honored by everyone. Please convey this message to him from me. Father, I'm not in the least unhappy about leaving Ayodhya or about the life in the forest which I have undertaken. Neither Sita nor Lakshmana are unhappy. After the lapse of 14 years, we will return to the city and take the dust off your blessed feet. There is no doubt about the happiness that is in store for us when we will be reunited. Sumantra, tell him that I spoke these words after saluting him. After a while, Rama spoke again. He said, give this message to the king, then convey my respects to my mother, Kaushalya and Sumitra, and Kaikeyi, and all the mothers I have in the palace. Tell them that I am happy and well, and so are Sita and Lakshmana, who also send their respects. You should be the one to bring my brother Bharata to the king. You should advise him to conduct himself in a manner which will please the king and make him happy. When Bharata is crowned in the country has a Yuvaraja, this grief in your mind will abate slowly. Tell Bharata that I have asked him to be equally affectionate towards all the wives of the king. Tell him in my words, Bharata, you should treat Sumitra with the same affection which you have for Kaikeyi. Even like her, my mother should be the object of your affection. These two women are quite unhappy because of the absence of their sons. You should pay special attention to them, rule the kingdom righteously, and earn a place for yourself in the world to come. Sumantra refused to be comforted. He said, Rama, Ayodhya will now be like a woman who has lost her child. How is it possible for me to enter the city without you? This chariot which had you when it left the city will now be empty, and the entire city will set up a veil of woe. The horses will refuse to pull the empty chariot, I can assure you. I will not go back to Ayodhya. Please take me with you. If you do not let me come with you and go away, I will throw myself into the fire and kill myself. I will be I will be of help to you, Rama, in the forest. I did not have the good fortune to be this charioteer when you were crowned. Let me at least do the duty in the forest. Rama's eyes were wet because of the love his charioteer had for him. He said, Sumantra, you do not have to tell me how much you love me. I know it only too well. And I also know that you would like to be with me all the time. But I have to send you back to Ayodhya. I have a reason for it, I'll tell you. My young mother Kaikeyi will see you enter the city without me and Sita and Lakshmana. Then and only then will she be sure that I have reached the forest. She will cease to doubt the words of my father, or else she'll persist in torturing the king by calling him untruthful. My younger mother will see her son established on the time-honored throne which my father has graced all these years, and she'll be happy. That is only my desire. For my sake and for the sake of the king, you should go back. Rama then turned to Guha and said, my friend, I should no longer dwell in palaces or in places which are frequented by men. I have to take up the life of a dweller in an ashrama. That is the rule set down for me. I must make myself fit to dwell in the midst of tapaswins, and I must wear my hair as a jata. Please bring me the milk of the Nyagrodha tree so that I can twist my hair into a tangled mess. Rama and Lakshmana had adopted the tree bark in the palace itself, and now their guise as tapaswins were complete. Seeing them with their jata, Sumantra wept loudly. Rama spoke to Guha and said, it is only too well known that ruling a country is not easy. I wish you well. I take leave of you and Sumantra. They stood on the banks of the river Ganga, and Rama said, Lakshmana, assist Sita to get into the boat. Hold it firmly until she is seated. Then you should enter the boat. After they had seated themselves in the boat, Rama set his foot into the boat. Guha prompted the oarsmen to steer them safely across the river. Rama closed his eyes and prayed for the success of his arduous undertaking. He prayed that he should ever please the Lord by his action. He prayed that he should win a good name and fame as a righteous man. Rama and Lakshmana touched the water and did Achamana. Again, he took farewell to Sumantra and Guha, who were standing on the bank of the river with swimming eyes. Rama asked the oarsmen to untie the boat and to set sail. The boat began to move, and it moved fast. When they had reached the middle of the river, Sita prayed to Ganga with folded palms. She said, Devi Ganga, please grant that this lord of mine, Dashatha's son, reaches the other bank safe. Please grant that after 14 years, we should all three of us return here safe. I will worship you again after we return. I have no doubt that my prayers will be answered since you're ever bountiful with your gifts. You are famed in all the three worlds. You are the favored queen of the ocean. I prostrate before you, and when we come back and when my lord goes back to his city, I will give away gifts of gold and cows to Brahmins to please you. Grant that we return safe to Ayodhya. Soon they reached the southern banks of the Ganga. Rama abandoned the boat and sent it back to Guha. He then spoke to Lakshmana. You should be alert anyways, always Lakshmana. We should remember to protect Sita. You walk first and Sita will follow you. I'll walk behind her and thus we will proceed. This will be the best way to pursue our journey. If something happens in spite of all caution, it will then be beyond our power to rectify it. In a mood of affection for me, Sita has undertaken this difficult life in the forest. It is not going to be easy for her. From here onwards, there'll be no habitation, and as such, the path will be difficult to follow. There'll be ups and downs, and we must guard her very diligently. And so they entered the forest, Lakshmana in the lead, Sita in the middle, and Rama bringing up the rear. Sumantra, who was watching them as he stood on the northern bank of Ganga, stood still and watched until they were out of sight. Wiping his tears, he turned away from the southern bank, his eyes which could see nothing any longer. That's the end of chapter 21. Surya, do you want to share your thoughts now? Surya?
My iPad was glitching out. I liked how much Guha and Sumantra were so devoted to Rama, and how Rama also wished his Kaikeyi also that her a good life and not just his other two mothers.
Yes. Yeah, it was so beautiful, so descriptive, right? Like each person, how they're feeling. And did you notice this thing called jata? They're taking the secretion of a tree called Nyagrodha. Have you seen these uh, sadhus along Ganges? You would have seen a lot of people with this hair matted, right? You
Yeah.
remember seeing such people?
Yep.
So they actually intentionally make their hair like that with some using certain things that they take from trees. So they're explaining that that's part of living as someone like a mendicant. That was also a new concept that we learned. So it's 8:24. So we will not start the next chapter. The next chapter is called The Third Night of the Exile. So they have spent 2 nights. Now they've crossed the river Ganga and they're going to be on the other side of the river and they're walking in the forest. So we'll continue that tomorrow. Today's Thursday, right? We'll continue on Monday. So let's say our closing prayer. Sit straight. Drop your shoulders, open your chest. Take a deep breath in and let's do Om 3 times. Om. 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good night and thank you for watching. If you're here watching it later, go ahead and subscribe to our channel if you like, and if you like information around spirituality, personal development, emotional healing, and holistic wellness, you're in the right place. So go ahead, subscribe to our channel and push the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video.